if you find yourself in a place where you can't really get out of it and you're with it, then try to make the best of it as you can. And once you're in that marriage, if it's something that's not healthy for you, it's something that's hard for you, don't endure things that you don't need to endure. And I know I'm supposed to talk about being single, but there's a good chance I'm not going to talk to any of you. Allah knows best. Beyond this day, domestic violence is haram. It is haram. We can't think about it in any other way. Don't let yourself be in this place where you think it's okay for you to hit your wife, or you think it's okay for you to be hit by your husband. This is definitely a grounds for divorce in our deen. And we have gotten to a point where we think it's just the best solution and it's something that's acceptable. I gave the Eid khutbah in the States some time ago, and I was standing with my father afterwards. And now we have our own center, so I don't know how it is in Norway, but growing up when we would go to the Eid prayers, they're always at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and everyone was rushing to them, and it wasn't really an enjoyable experience. And I've had some strange occurrences in giving the Eid khutbah. There was one time the masjid that my family was a part of growing up rented out a hall where there was a roller skating rink. And on the top of the roller skating rink, there was a track that people could run around. So we were praying on the roller skating rink, and everyone's looking at me as I gave the khutbah, and I looked up, and there's people running laps around us on the top of the thing. And I was like, this is great. And so on the day of Eid, it's a day of celebration. It's a day of happiness, right? We have 2 holidays, and we try to celebrate them to the best of our ability, or we should. And so after the khutbah is done and everyone is hugging and embracing, a man comes up to me and he says, I have a question for you. And I said, what is it? And he said, sometimes my wife, she bothers me a lot. Is it okay if I hit her? I was like, excuse me? And he was like, sometimes she's just a little annoying. Can I just slap her a couple of times? I was like, it's Eid, man. And this is what you're saying to me? And my dad said to him, you should probably go before my son gets mad at you and hits you. This is where our mind is at. We've normalized certain things that shouldn't be normalized. The Prophet ﷺ was a gentle man. He was a compassionate man. He was a merciful man. He was the best of examples. Don't tolerate abuses against yourself and justify them. You have to be able to speak up and speak out about certain things. You have to find people in your communities that you can trust before the marriage, during the marriage, and even in some instances after the marriage. And you have to begin to set up the resources and support systems that help people through every stage of those things. Because as Muslims, we don't need to let people be on their own. We don't need for people to be in a place where they deal with these kind of atrocities and we say, well, it's not happening in my house, I'm not going to do anything about it. Collectively, you start to take stands and you start to make the situation a little bit better. And we'll see then, inshallah ta'ala, an effective change in the number of people who are getting wed and how it becomes distinct and lesser the number of people who are not getting married. It might even be a protection from Allah Azza wa Jalla, from situations that are even harder for us than we can imagine, because we're not ready to be able to deal with them given all of the baggage and the nonsense that kind of comes along with it. You don't have to let it continue. You can be people who help the system out. and make it a lot easier for those who are looking for people to stand up on their behalf. And so, I know I didn't give you any answers on how to find a husband or a wife. If I had that answer, I'd probably be married myself. But I'm not. But again, to reiterate, if you're not married, don't think that taking advantage of the time means that being married is something that is going to cause you to lose your ability to do certain things. But with the time that you have right now, use it in a way where you give yourself the opportunity to be successful and build up a certain sense of self-esteem and self-worth. And never ever think that if you feel a little bit sad or hurt inside because you don't have the marriage that you want and you're asking for, that there's something wrong with it. Inshallah, Allah Azza wa Jal will make it easy for all of us, and He'll give us those individuals who will be not only our companions in this world, but our companions in the next, and allow for us the opportunity to have the best in both instances. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and protect us. May He bless us with knowledge that benefits us. May He bless us with the tawfiq to understand and implement that knowledge into our daily lives. And may He guide and bless us all. Wallahu ta'ala alam wa billahi tawfiq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Nå blir det en 7 minutters pause, så hvis alle tilbake 10 over, og vi starter programmet igjen kvart over. Så vær her i